So we're going to do the installation of the TUWA MOAB bed rack, the front and the back, on a 2022 Ford F250 Tremor. It's brand new, it's a couple hours old. So I've had this in here for about a week, and it came extremely well packed. So much so that it took probably 25 minutes to get everything unwrapped and unpacked. Everything was wrapped really tightly with super thick plastic, and then also with packaging tape. So as you can see, it came in 2 boxes. I spared everybody that. The 2 large boxes, I'd say it's approximately 80 pounds total. So next thing we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut this to length to put under to keep from scratching the bed rails, and then I'll come back once those are going in. All right, so I'm just going to set these first pieces in here, kind of get an idea of how we want them. I think I'm going to go right to the edge of that stake pocket hole, just as a reference, because it's a kind of ugly hole. Might want to cover it up. If you look right here, so I'll measure to make sure that those are even before we clamp anything down tight. And the bolts stack up like this. You've got a bolt flat washer through lock washer or spring washer on the back into this with these nubs, for lack of a better term, facing backward. So over here we would come in like this, get our bolt sitting in there, get our lock washer on the back side, bring it up, and start the process like that. And right now, like I said, I'm just getting everything cinched down so that I can make micro adjustments when I need to line everything up. All right, so now we've got these tightened down exactly where I want them. We're gonna move on to the sidebar. So we set up the nuts, and this time we're using bolts instead of the little plates. And just to be clear, these instructions are laid out online. It comes with a QR code on the box, and they also emailed me the instructions as well. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take a 13 millimeter, that is not in the instructions, 13 millimeter wrench socket, and I'll go ahead and get these tightened on here. And also one more thing to note, if you're doing the chase rack, you don't have to make this distinction. But if you're doing the full MOAB, the bed rack, there is a thinner side piece that goes on the back rack. This more stout, thicker one goes on the front, and because it would kind of look wonky if the front was thinner than the back. So I'll be back when these are tightened in place. Okay, so getting this side upright on, remember it goes bolt, flat washer, through both pieces, safety washer, spring washer, lock washer, whatever you want to call it, and then the nut on the end, and not the plate as used on these. But again, you know, the instructions are there. It's pretty easy to figure out. I'm just showing you how it goes on an F250. So I'll be back once this is all tightened up. So we're working on the elbow piece. You can set these to 3 different height: below cab height, equal to cab height, or above cab height. Since this thing doesn't fit in the garage anyhow, I figured Why not? Let's go above cab height. So I have it set at the tallest setting. So again, you know, it's the bolt flat washer through the metal, lock washer on the other side, and then the safety nut. And that's it. And you got 4 on each side, and the extender helps so you're not clanging this the whole time. Yep. So because I needed my helper camera person to help me with this because I didn't want to drop it on the truck, went ahead and set this on as and then just basically hand tightened the bolts. So same configuration. You've got the bolt flat washer through the metal, lock washer, and then the nut. One thing I will point out though is I said that I was going to put this up as high as I possibly could to go over the cab. Well, this is as high as it goes, and it's about level with the cab. So that's something, I don't think I did it wrong. I read, you know, looked at the instructions, and there I can see the 3 settings in here, and it's on the top setting. So for an F250, I'll take a measurement right now actually of what this cab is, and it might be just a huge cab. So it looks like the cab is 26 inches to the top of this weird fin thing. So, and I think in the settings it said like 20, it said like 17, then 27 or something like that. So I think it's maxed out. But this will work for an overlander bed or something, or you know, we're going to use it for kayaks, so I'll have to figure out, you know, I was going to figure that part out anyhow. So all right, so last piece aside from the little the hooks that attach are the chase rack mounting piece. So these go on 4 bolts, 4 attachment places, same order: bolt, flat washer, through, lock washer, nut, and then that'll be it for the front, aside from the tie downs, which I'll show you how those go on. So this, you come on the outside here, you go bolt, small washer, through the plastic, through the metal. On the other side of the metal, then you come with a large washer, because these holes are a little bit larger. Then your lock washer, then your nut. And that's it. So essentially you're just adding another large washer on the back side of this due to the size of these holes. So here's what it looks like on. I'm about to put the next one on. Okay, we're starting on the back portion. If you have the chase rack only, then that's pretty much what that looks like. And I did go back and look at the literature, and that the top extension is 23 inches, and as our measurement showed before, we're at about like 24 inches. So it doesn't quite make it over the top of the cab on a 2022 F250, which I imagine that means it doesn't go from, you know, 2019 to 2022. I don't know. Either way, it looks awesome. So what we're doing right now is I've put the rubber padding under here. I'm going to match this to the end of this stake pocket to cover it up. We grab the plates with the thread nubs facing out. I'm going to put these on the same exact way. The only difference I'm doing here is there's a packet of large washers in there, and the directions, although they are complete, it does look like some of the they don't call out the differences between the 2 bolts, and that caused me some confusion earlier. And it's a little bit confusing about which washers to use, and it makes more sense that the large washers would be used here, since those will be taking on most of the weight. So that's what I'm going to do. I haven't decided if I'm going to go back and change out these for the large washers one at a time, which it won't be a big deal if we do, but I might do that. So I'll be back when these are clamped in. Okay, so moving right along with the back portion. These are on same configuration as the front. Everything's pretty much exactly the same. These will go in the top slot. One thing I do want to point out is that this is all the way up, right? Well, it is blocking the bed camera just like the top quarter of it. It's kind of a wide angle camera that you can see into the bed while you're driving. I don't know yet if it's going to affect that 360 thing when you back up, but just be aware of that. Maybe I could take this to like a machinist and have him just do a knockout right here, because I only need this to carry kayaks. I don't need this to, you know, to have like a 600-pound static load or anything crazy like that. The kayaks are 40 pounds a piece, so it's not a big deal. If I have one of these knocked out, I might do that, might just live with it, but that's for another day. So we're gonna go ahead with these elbow pieces on here, and then I'll check in when it's time to put the cross member on. Okay, here's the cross member. It slides inside, you'll notice, right there. And then what you got to do to even it up is kind of, you can get real technical with the measuring tape, or you can look and see your spacing between these. But then what you got to keep in mind is this thing needs to be put into place and everything adjusted like so. So my advice, being the expert now, just kidding. No, my advice would be to get it hand tightened where you think it's about even, like we did up front, and then make sure, then get this adjusted, and then crank it down. Taping. So it would probably take somebody, if they were just working with somebody else, about 3 hours, I would guess, being careful and going through everything. I think it looks awesome. It's super sturdy. I've got a back revolver X4S that's going to go on with it, so I might do a video of that later. It should fit no problem. Don't take my word for it though until I actually put it on there. I will say that be sure to use the ratchetable bolts and not the ones with the Allen wrench to do these. I made that mistake to begin with and went and replaced it with these, but again, this is super solid. Again, it only raises to 23 inches, and I think this cab is about 24 inches. You'll notice it does block the third brake light, and it does block the bed camera as well as the top bed lights. But I mean, it is what it is. It's a rack. If you had a camper top, it would block all of that too. So I think it looks awesome, and I think it's going to do exactly what we want it to do. So it's a good product. I would recommend it. It's a great price right now. So hopefully they can keep that price point. It's really, I like it.